have 7:03.
Okay, so then we'll get going. All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 18th meeting of the Hyde Park Town Board. Regular meeting, public hearings, and workshops. Please join me as we pledge allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may I have a motion to accept the minutes of the June 4th meeting?
I make a motion?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we have a lot of resolutions before us tonight, and it's the second meeting of the month, so our usual pattern is to only invite the public up for public comment on the resolutions only. So if anyone does have, hey Emily, no problem.
Ma'am.
Hi
Hey,
Warren.
Latecomers.
How are you?
Okay.
Doing great, thank you. Okay, so again, if anyone has any comment on the resolutions before us, please join us at the podium. State your name and address, and if you would, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And of course, we are having public hearings on the 4 items below.
My name's Jeff Geisler. I live at 28 Berkshire Avenue. My concern is about 25 Berkshire Avenue. It's come to my understanding that the grass is overgrown. The structure and integrity of the building needs to be inspected by the town, I believe. Part of the roof is collapsing on the house. Somebody is cutting trees on the property of 25 and putting all the brush in front of the house, which now is an eyesore to my residents to see now this structure that is deteriorating. The house has been vacant for 5 years that I know of. I believe it's been condemned. My wife did call the town last week and talk to Rich about this issue. He said he was going to look into it. I guess the people at 25 do own some property behind this residence that they've been cutting down. But the stuff that is on the front yard has been cut from 25, and now it's just a big pile of like brush on top of the grass that is like waist high. I believe the town should be able to do something with the grass and the structure, at least inspect it. I believe it's unsafe, but that I'll leave to the town to address.
Okay.
And that is on tonight.
25 Berkshire, we
Yes.
have that on our
That is on
agenda.
for tonight.
Yep, so just to make, to clarify that for you, the town has a couple of different ways they can address property maintenance issues such as these. One is to go the route of the local justice court, and then another is to go through the town board for a Chapter 84 action to basically, we give notice then to the property owners, or if it's a bank, and then we go through this legal process whereby we can then go in and clean up the property and attach the cost to the tax bill. So that's why Rich Longendijk is here tonight. We have a number of properties that we're beginning this action on, and so we are following through, and we're glad that you came in and let us know. And Rich is working on that, so we'll be following up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, we're it's one of the most difficult things, really, is requiring people to do what's right. And thankfully we have really a wonderful code enforcement person in Rich Longendijk, and he's solved a number of problems. So bringing it to our attention is the right way to go, and we have to follow a legal process, right?
Okay, and how long does that legal process take?
So July 16th is going to be the date that we set the public hearing
Okay,
on
yeah.
that.
So
Will there be a resolution by July 16th where I can
well-
come back and hear it?
not likely that the entire, I don't know, Rich, would you like to come up and join us here and talk about it? I mean, it's a legal process. We have to give notice. We have to have a public hearing on it, and then we have to go through the process of getting bids to do the work. And so you know, we're beginning the process, and I don't know if you want to address that, Rich?
Well, we started, tonight's the first step.
Tonight's the first
And
step.
then the public hearing, and then after the public hearing, and like, because we did this property last year.
I
cut the
complained
grass
several times to the town about this issue,
last
and
year,
I don't see nothing really being taken care of on the grass, let alone the building. But I'm not saying it's you. I mean, I do call the town, my
yes.
wife calls and leaves messages about
Sure.
this grass issue, but now it's the integrity of the building. The roof is collapsing. I mean, that's an unsafe structure for a town zoning issue that needs to be addressed, and this is not the first time that I've addressed the issue to the town. I'm not picking you, Rich, you know, because I really don't know you. My wife talked to you, but I just know that this is not the first time I brought this matter to the town about 25.
Right.
Last year, the county was in there cutting the grass. The year before that, it was the county. I don't know if the county has it on their tax roll or if it's the town. But now, all of a sudden, the last 2 years, nobody's doing nothing to this property.
Well, the town cut it last year.
Yeah, the county wouldn't go in and cut it.
Yeah, we did that last
Oh,
year.
it was?
No,
was
the
the
county
county.
wouldn't do that. I mean, it's, you know, the way it works is if people don't pay their taxes for 3 years, then the county takes the property back if they choose to. Sometimes they don't choose to because they don't want the liability of it. So I don't know if this property has been on tax sale. Do you happen to know that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Last
Or-
I knew on parcel access, it was still, the owner lives up in Red Hook.
Okay. Well, is there a bank involved? Do we
Not-
know?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
So if
Unless
it was
it's
mowed
happened
last year,
very
how come it's not
recently.
being mowed this year?
Because we have to go through this legal process.
And that's every year?
Every year we'd have to
Yeah.
go through
Okay,
this.
I
Yeah,
understand.
So
yeah.
back-
That's
I understand.
So
No
that's
problem.
why we did it last year, and
Okay.
it takes a while, you
Okay,
know.
no, I understand now. I
Because you have
understand.
to protect people have property rights, and
Right,
we
I
have to
understand.
give them notice, but actually, we're making a lot of headway with Rich, and I know that you've probably complained in years past, but we do have the personnel that can follow up on it.
You know, I don't want to point anybody
No.
out that they're not
we
doing their job. I'm
understand
just
why
saying
you're
that
here.
Yeah.
It's
I
totally.
just figured I'd call and make sure I come to a town meeting to address
Sure.
my
Glad you
issue.
did.
And the public hearing is scheduled?
It's on the next page. So after tonight, when we pass this resolution, we set a public hearing. So Rich will, after we set this in motion, then Rich will go out and then he posts the property, gets a hold of the owners of that property. Then they have until July 16th to remedy all the issues on that property.
Okay.
When Rich goes out and re-inspects, and if nothing has been done, he comes back, and then July 16th is the public hearing where you could come back, and Rich would come back and say, hey, nothing has been done.
Okay.
And then that's when we can take a next step legally to go out there and either mow the lawn or
All
bring
right.
them to court, whatever we have to do. But property owners have that time limit
Okay.
for them to remedy the issues.
Okay.
So the next process will be Rich going back out there, posting the issues that we have, and then July 16th will be the public hearing. So if you want to, mark that on your calendars for July 16th at 7:15, we'll have a public hearing again, not just on that property, but all the other properties that are
Okay.
listed on that.
Very good.
And then, in addition, if you look at Resolution 14 on the agenda tonight, we are beginning the local law adoption process for Local Law E, Town of Hyde Park Grass Maintenance Law. And so this is a law that we've just, the town attorney has worked on and created so that we can make this a much faster process.
Okay,
Because
very
it's
good.
frankly, it takes too long. And it's expensive for us, too,
Right.
to do this prosecution. So we did create a law that will allow us to go in a much more efficient way.
Okay, very good.
Because it's really is a pet peeve of mine. And I had 2 complaints today about 2 properties on Parker Avenue that I know are in foreclosure. So fortunately, in this case, they're not, because that makes it really hard to serve notice. So
For Berkshire Avenue.
for
Right.
Berkshire Avenue.
Right.
But it is a very pernicious problem.
Okay, thank you so much.
But we are on it.
Okay, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
Thank you.
May I
you.
just ask you to repeat your name, please?
Jeff Geisler,
Thank you.
Okay.
28 Berkshire Avenue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Geisler. Appreciate it.
Okay, so we have a number of public hearings on. So the first is I'm going to ask the clerk to please read the public hearing notice, but then after she does so, I'm going to have Rich explain exactly what's going on with these properties. So would you mind going ahead and reading the public hearing notice,
Please take notice that the Hyde Park Town Board will conduct a public hearing on June 18th, 2018 at 7:05 p.m. at the Hyde Park Town Hall, located at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, 12538, for the purpose of determining whether or not the following property at 563 North Quaker Lane, tax ID number 626619654134, is in compliance with the standards enumerated in Section 84 of the Town Code. After the public hearing, if the property is determined to not be in compliance with these standards, the Town Board, in its discretion, may undertake to enter the property and bring it into compliance with the standards enunciated in Section 84 of the Town Code, and the costs and expenses of such remediation shall be assessed against the said property in accordance with the provisions of Section 84-6H of the Town Code. Any person desiring to be heard in said public hearing shall be given the opportunity to do so. Copies of the documentation supporting said action are on file in the office of the Hyde Park Town Clerk during regular business hours for inspection purposes. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Hyde Park, dated May 22nd, 2018, Hyde Park, New York, Donna McBrogan, Town Clerk.
Okay, so Rich, do you just want to review this with us in case anyone does want to speak on this?
The tenant in the building was just throwing trash and furniture and everything just alongside the road. It's been happening since the winter, and we tried going through the normal process of sending an order to remedy, though nobody responded. So then we started this process, and over the weekend, since Friday, they had gotten a dumpster there, and the property's cleaned up at this point.
So
We don't have
okay.
to take any further action now.
That's
but,
wo- that's wonderful.
After speaking with the tenant, I don't know if he'll do it again, because he basically didn't think it was his problem, so he was leaving it up to the homeowner to clean it up.
So do we know who, do we know who actually got the dumpster?
Now I don't.
So the tenant said that he believes it's the property owner's responsibility, which ultimately it is. But
So
they did.
I asked if it was the homeowner throwing the trash there, and he wouldn't answer me, so.
Okay.
But I'm just hoping that, he doesn't do it again, so.
So is it cleaned up to your satisfaction then? Okay. So so what do we do?
This is
Number 11, when we get to that, we would just withdraw the resolution. I think that's
Okay.
number 11. We withdraw the resolution.
Okay. Would there be any benefit to, I mean, what I'm hearing from Rich is just a little bit of concern that that there will be that a reoccurrence of it, and is there any way that we can preemptively assure that?
No, we can't do that. It's, the idea of this is the hope that the tenant or the owner of the property would comply with the order when they
Okay.
get it, and they have, so we have to withdraw it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if they do it again, we have to go through the process again. There's no way
Okay.
of doing in advance, anticipation of another violation.
Well, I want to thank whoever, first of all, I want to thank Rich, because this is in my ward, and I know it's been an eyesore, and I know the neighbors were really good, because the neighbors even volunteered to try to help clean up this area, and whoever the homeowner is, first of all, I want to thank them for being a little bit proactive after you getting on their case and getting this area cleaned up, because it sits right on the corner.
Right.
So everyone that enters or exits that development had to, view that every day. So nice job, and thank you.
Yeah, Rich, thank you. Really, you're doing outstanding work. It's one of the most common complaints that we receive.
It's important.
Yeah, and it
important.
really is important for people's property values and just quality of
Quality
life.
of life, yeah.
So we're definitely very grateful. Thank you for that. So is there any other items on the agenda that you should speak to tonight?
Well, we just had the 4 properties with the grass cut.
Would you mind staying for
Sure.
that? Okay, great, thanks. All right. So would anyone from the public like to speak on this resolution, or on this issue? That has apparently been resolved. Okay, so then may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make that motion?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, moving on, we have another public hearing, and I'm going to ask Pat to please read that public hearing notice as well.
Please take notice that the Hyde Park Town Board shall hold a public hearing on the adoption of the Planning and Engineering Report for the redevelopment of the town center dated May 2018 at the Hyde Park Town Hall located at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, on June 18, 2018 at 7:10 p.m. It is the intention of the town board to adopt the said report as an appendix to the town's 2005 comprehensive plan. This action is a type 1 action under seeker, and the town board is the only involved agency in this action. A copy of the said report is available for inspection at the town clerk's office during normal business hours and will be posted on the town's official website. All persons desiring to be heard on this action shall be given an opportunity to do so at the said public hearing. By order of the town board of the town of Hyde Park, dated June 6, 2018, Hyde Park, New York, Donna McRogan, town clerk.
Thank you, Pat. So Mary Beth, we have our wonderful engineer here, or well, planner from Delaware Engineering, Mary Beth Bianconi. So welcome and thank you for coming tonight. Yeah, please join us at the table and you can kind of go over what this is all about.
Rich is running. He's like, I'm out of
Rich,
here.
you can go.
I should have showered today, I promise. Okay, so very quickly, as the supervisor said, my name is Mary Beth Bianconi. I work for Delaware Engineering, and we're the firm that was hired by the town to help them with the town center project. The town center project was funded by the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority through a grant. Really quickly, the project looked at a number of different items within the area that goes essentially from Pine Woods down to Watson Place, on both sides of Route 9. So we looked at existing conditions, environmental and otherwise. We conducted a market analysis and prepared a conceptual redevelopment plan for the area. It's just a vision for what it could be. We evaluated wastewater treatment opportunities and collection opportunities, design concepts for Route 9, to continue the work that you're already doing with sidewalks and streetscapes and things along those lines, a zoning code analysis. Those are all embodied in an engineering report that's available on the website and at the town clerk's office. And a condition of the grant was that that report be adopted as an amendment to the 2005 comprehensive plan. To do so, the town will need to conduct seeker, which is the State Environmental Quality Review Act. You're the only agency that has any say over zoning and comprehensive planning in your community. So tonight on your agenda, you have conducting seeker as well as adopting the report. And the only other thing that I'll say really briefly is the report makes some very basic recommendations. One is to continue your work with TAP through the state DOT to continue to get funding, to continue to improve the conditions, pedestrian and bicycle and visual conditions on Route 9. Another one is make some zoning recommendations to take your existing zoning that you have for the area to the north. What's that one called? Crossroads Core. Thank you. Crossroads Core. Extend it and make some additional amplifications of that to more match this area. And the last is to continue to evaluate sewer project, which the next step would be creating a sewer district. And with that, I think that's
Great. Well,
a very short version.
it was a very, considering the arduous process, right, Emily? It was a joy. I mean, constant dialogue with NYSERDA as just one of the items, but I mean, I'm really pleased with the product, and you really have been a pleasure to work with, and really leading this charge on the commercial redevelopment of our traditional town center. It's very exciting for our town, and I think I've coined a new thing. We're either do or die. So this is the downtown initiative, and that's where we're going. So we got to get this done, and this is really going to provide that roadmap. So tonight is the first step, and appreciate that you came all the way down here to just to give us the synopsis. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or comments from the board, and then we'll open it up to the public.
Well, I just wanted to mention that we have incorporated the public's comments through this whole process, through multiple information sessions and workshops. So I think that we've done a lot of work to make sure that the public's input is engaged into this. And I also just wanted to make sure everyone saw that we did get, well, I guess it's
printed out here, the comments back from Dutchess County Planning, who was supportive of the comp plan amendment, and then we also did get from the planning board comments and support. So I think we have those bases covered to adopt tonight.
So that's excellent. So great. And does anyone else from the board have comments prior to the public?
No, great job. I
It's
really appreciate all the
really-
efforts.
yeah, it's
Amazing job, so thank you.
Okay, would anyone from the public like to speak at this public hearing? Okay, so with that, may I have a motion to go ahead and close the public hearing?
Make a motion.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so we're going to complete the seeker as part of the workshop when we get done with all our public hearings? Is that the plan, Warren?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, really, thanks again, Mary Beth, and I know that our work continues, but now at least we know how to go about it. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for coming down to
Thanks.
visit us
Yeah.
yet again.
We'll stay for the
Okay.
Okay, so the third public hearing, local law adoption process for amending the town code with regard to maximum impervious coverage. So Pat, might you please read that public hearing notice?
Please take notice that the Hyde Park Town Board shall hold a public hearing on the adoption of proposed local law number D of the year 2018 entitled, "A Local Law Amending Chapter 108 of the Town Code with Regard to Maximum Impervious Coverage for Solar Farms in the Greenbelt Zoning District," on June 18th, 2018 at 7:15 p.m. at the Hyde Park Town Hall, located at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, 12538. The purpose of this local law is to increase the maximum impervious coverage in the Greenbelt District for solar farms from 15% to 25%. This action is a Type 2 action under seeker. A copy of the said local law is available for inspection at the town clerk's office during normal business hours and will be posted on the town's official website. All persons desiring to be heard on this local law shall be given an opportunity to do so at the said public hearing. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Hyde Park, dated June 5th, 2018, Hyde Park, New York, Donna McGrogan, Town Clerk.
Okay, would anyone from the public like to speak on this local law? Okay, so I think we're good to go on that one as well. So may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Poor Pat. Are you sure Donna didn't plan this night off? Okay, so then we have, as a final item, continuing the public hearing for the sign law. And Warren, might you want to just update us on the revisions that you made to the original law?
Yeah, we made some, we were already open the public hearing on the original amendments to the sign law, which we created to remove the amortization, strict amortization requirements, to clear up some deficiencies in the law relating to temporary signage, and to also make the law as compliant as we possibly could with the recent Supreme Court decision and some other decisional law in New York about discrimination between certain uses based upon content. I think we did a pretty good job of that, but after we created the original law and opened the public hearing, there were some additional comments from the planning boards, just some minor comments about the temporary signage, and I think the what do they call it? The signage in the shopping centers for
Multiple
what do they call
freestanding.
those? Freestanding signage. And, that they wanted changed, which we did. Very innocuous changes to the law and some other provisions regarding the temporary permit application process. We felt that those changes were minor enough that they did not require another referral to Dutchess County Department of Planning or to the Planning Board. But the laws amended must be on the desks of the town board members for 7 days, at least prior to the adoption. So what we're doing tonight is receiving the amended law with the changes that were recommended by the planning board, putting on the desk of the town board members, and adjourning the public hearing to the next town board meeting, which
July 16th, I believe
is
it is.
July 16th. Is that it?
Yes.
At 7:05 PM.
Yep.
And if anybody wants to comment on the law at that time, they would be free to do so. And we're hoping that we'll enact the local law at that time.
Okay, would anyone from the public like to speak on this local law? Okay, so may I then have a motion to continue the public hearing to July 16th?
Make a motion?
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the next item is to complete the seeker review for the adoption of the planning and engineering report. So Warren has worked with Mary Beth to create the seeker review, so I'll hand this over to you.
Okay. We've already, a seeker review, when you do it's a type 1 action, so we do what we call a full environmental assessment form. It consists of 3 parts. The first part is the informational portion of it relating to the action. When you are amending a local law or change to a comprehensive plan, it actually doesn't have a lot of site-specific documentation. We already have adopted that. That was presented to the board several meetings ago. So we adopted the part 1 of the environmental assessment form. Now the next step is to review the part 2 of the full environmental assessment form, which helps the board identify whether there are any significant potential impacts, either a moderate or a large impact. So I'll just go over the categories. With the assistance of our consultants, we've already, to be honest, we filled it out, and we're hoping that the town board will agree with the analysis that's already been performed. But if there's any objection or any questions about it when I go through it, let me know. So the first is the impact on land, and the question is the proposed, will the proposed action involve any construction on or physical alteration of any land surface of the proposed site? And the answer to that is no, because it's not, again, a site-specific project. 2 would be impact on geological features. The question is whether the proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site. Again, we've answered that no. The third is impacts on surface water. Will the proposed action affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies? We answered that no. Number 4, the impact on groundwater. Will the proposed action result in any new or additional uses of groundwater, or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to the groundwater or an aquifer? The answer to that is no. Number 5 is the impact on flooding. Will the proposed action result in any development on land subject to flooding? Again, this proposed action will not, so we answered that no. Next is impacts on air. Will the proposed action include a state-regulated air emission source? We indicated no. The next, number 7, is impact on plants and animals. Will the proposed action result in a loss of flora or fauna? Again, this proposed action will not, so we answered that no. Number 8, impact on agricultural resources. Will the proposed action impact agricultural resources? Again, this action does not, so we answered that no. 9, impact on aesthetic resources. Will the land use of the proposed action, is it obviously different from or in sharp contrast to current land use patterns between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource? The answer to that, in our opinion, was no. Number 10, impact on historic or archaeological features. The answer to that was no. Number 11, impact on open space and recreation. Will the proposed action result in a loss of recreational opportunities or reduction in open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan? The answer to that was no. Number 12, will the action impact a critical environmental area, either being adjacent to or within or if the project is located within one. We answered that no. Next action, will the proposed action result in a change to existing transportation systems? We answered that no. Number 14, impact on energy. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of any form of energy? Again, we answered that no. Number 15, the impact on noise, odor, and light. Will the proposed action result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting? We answered that no. 16, impact on human health. Will the proposed action have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contamination? We answered that no. The next 17 is the proposed action not consistent with adopted land use plans. We felt the answer to that was no. Number 18, consistency with community character. Is the proposed action inconsistent with the existing community character? And again, we answered that no. So if everybody agrees with that, you don't have to say anything. You're going to vote on it, the final review when we do the resolution. But if you have any questions or problems with any of those, let me know now. Hearing none, I'm going to move to part 3.
Well, I just wanted to say, I think that all makes sense, because really what we're doing with this is just changing the comprehensive plan. It's not actually going to result in any direct change to the environment, and anything that did would have its own seeker review. But I just wanted to note that I think that overall, this plan has environmental benefits, and that's really one of the main reasons we undertook it, is to, to reduce traffic impacts and to improve greenhouse gas impacts, stormwater, and all sorts of other environmental issues. So I agree with your analysis.
Okay. And we went further. We have now a Part 3 evaluation, even though we didn't identify any moderate or potentially large impacts. We did finish the Part 3 analysis, which is only required if you identify potential large or moderate impacts, which I think amplifies what Emily just said. And I'll just read that to you because it's a rather short analysis. The Comprehensive Planning and Engineering Report prepared for the town of Hyde Park was created to catalyze the revitalization of the town center and help the town center transition from an automobile-centric corridor to a vital pedestrian and bike-friendly mixed-use walkable neighborhood. The report includes a full inventory of existing conditions and preliminary design and feasibility analysis for public sewer, Route 9 improvements, and possible zoning changes. The report was developed with abundant public input in the form of public meetings, online surveys, stakeholder interviews, and almost a dozen meetings of a steering committee composed of local and regional elected officials, planners, business owners, and other key participants. Adoption of the report as part of the comprehensive plan has no direct impact on the environment. Rather, it serves as a guidance document for future decision-making and makes preliminary recommendations on ways the town can enhance its economy and improve a blighted stretch of Route 9 while reducing and mitigating possible environmental impacts. Any and all projects that follow, however, from the recommendations contained within the report will, of course, be subject to seeker review in its own right. As a result, the town of Hyde Park has determined that the adoption of the planning and engineering report as an appendix to its comprehensive plan will have no moderate or significant impact, and we have incorporated in the resolution what we call a seeker negative declaration, indicating that there is no potential for significant environmental impacts as a result of this action, and that a draft environmental impact statement will not be prepared. And that's already in the resolution, so unless there's a question or problem with that, when we get to the resolution and you vote on the resolution, you will then be adopting first the negative seeker declaration, and the findings are basically what I've incorporated those findings into the resolution. And then the second resolution, when you get to that, will be adopting the actual report as an appendix to the comprehensive plan.
Do any of those need a roll call?
When we get to that, I'd like
Okay.
to have a roll call on that.
Okay,
And
great.
again, we did, as Emily said, we just got tonight at the last minute, a report from County of Dutchess recommending that the town board rely on its own study of the facts, but there were some nice positive comments included in that report, and also the planning board has made the same recommendation.
Excellent. Okay. I forgot where we are now.
I think we're
now we're on resolutions.
We're finished with the secret
Yes,
review.
good, great, thank you. Okay, so Emily, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right.
Resolution 618-1 of 2018, resolution determining that the adoption of the Planning and Engineering Report for redevelopment of the town center dated May 2018 as an appendix to the Town of Hyde Park Comprehensive Plan will not have any significant adverse impact, and that an environmental impact statement will not be required, and further authorizing the filing of a negative declaration notice in the Environmental Notice Bulletin according to seeker.
Before we vote on this, can Warren go through all those again?
Yeah,
He wants you to go through it one more time.
I'm going to do it backwards.
I'll second that.
Okay, and Pat, could you please do a roll call on that?
Councilwoman Svensson?
Aye.
Councilman Ray?
Aye.
Councilman Marine?
Aye.
Councilman Schneider?
Aye.
Supervisor Rohr?
Aye. Great, thank you.
Carried.
Resolution 618-2 of 2018, resolution adopting the planning and engineering report for the redevelopment of the town center dated May 18th, 2018, and the secret or negative declaration documentation as appendices to the Town of Hyde Park Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
And all in, oh, well, actually, sorry, could you please do a roll call on that also?
Councilwoman Svensson?
Aye.
Councilman Ray?
Aye.
Councilman Marine?
Aye.
Councilman Schneider?
Aye.
Supervisor Rohr?
Aye.
Carried.
I'm just noting that we are at the request of NYSERDA, although we felt it wasn't quite necessary, we are including the environmental review and determination just to make sure that we're in full compliance with the NYSERDA grant requirements, even though normally we wouldn't do that, but that'll be included as a part of the appendix to the comprehensive plan.
Excellent.
Resolution 618-3 of 2018, resolution amending Resolution 521-11 of 2018, authorizing the replacement of the police court facility's Sally Port overhead doors.
Second.
And this was just a correction. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 618-4 of 2018, resolution recognizing and accepting the independent audit financial reports for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017, and the independent audit report on communication of internal control matters identified in the audit.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And
Aye.
feel very good about our audit, and I know, Joe, you met with the audit committee, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone was pleased.
Yep, very
Yes.
pleased.
Yep,
Very,
great.
very good.
Okay.
I get my favorite resolution of the
Oh, my
night.
God.
Oh, it's in.
Yeah, I'm gonna
This
have
might
to
be the
oppose
first one I
this.
vote no on.
Yeah, Ken's voting against.
I'm gonna
Too bad we're going to outnumber you.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Resolution 618-5 of 2018, resolution recognizing the appointment of Councilman Kenneth Schneider as Deputy Supervisor for the Town of Hyde Park for the rest of the year. Or I guess the rest of the term.
Well, actually, we're all voting no, so.
I can't
I
second that.
guess someone's overruled.
So, no,
Can you
I,
second that?
see,
We need a second.
yeah, we need a second.
I'll
So-
second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
but
thank
just-
you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
But wait, I just
Yeah.
have to, I just have to express my really deepest gratitude to Emily. You've
agree.
been
Yes.
amazing as a deputy supervisor, just giving your all, and just such a pleasure and really amazing to work with you. And we are continuing to do so. And as the resolution notes, that the amount of time that Emily puts into the town overall
Amazing.
it's incredible, and she actually just graduated from law school as well, so it's a good timing for her to focus really on the downtown initiative, which is kind of her baby and her brainchild, and it's something that takes a lot of effort to move ahead, and so we're really transferring all those deputy supervisor duties right to you, and who is also a wonderful
Can't
asset
wait.
for the town. So thank you, Ken, really, for stepping up.
Oh,
It's going to be wonderful to work with you.
It's really my pleasure.
Yeah.
I echo what you say about Emily as well, and those are shoes that you just can't fill, and it's amazing what you do, Emily. I am always amazed what you do personally and professionally, and you're someone that I look up to. So thank you
Oh,
for
we all feel that
thank you for
way.
all that you've done as a deputy supervisor. It's amazing. And
Well, thank you. I'm not going anywhere.
I know, but now
I
the
really
phone calls are coming to me. Now the phone calls are coming
No,
to me.
it's very helpful to me that you're taking
Hey,
that off
anything to
my
help you.
plate, and I'm grateful, and I trust this entire team implicitly, and thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you for your service. Really.
And we're
Thank
getting another attorney really reasonably, too.
No extra cost.
you. I'm abstaining from this vote. Just so, I'm not voting
So
for
did we
myself.
actually vote?
I don't think so.
So all in favor?
Aye.
I just abstained from that.
And I have your keys for you here.
She wasn't prepared, was she?
Have a key.
And you know what, Ken, I didn't tell you, but I'm going to be gone the rest of the year.
Is it a year? Resolution 618-6 of 2018, resolution acknowledging the resignation of Town Clerk Kim Makelet.
So Kim has been a pleasure to work with as well, and has been able to get a full-time job elsewhere. So we wish Kim the best.
Good.
So
Great.
a second?
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
And our thanks to Kim, for sure.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
Resolution 618-7 of 2018, resolution approving the wage and salary administration program for non-union staff.
Second.
And,
We need a roll call on that.
okay, we'll do a roll call on that as well. And so I just want to give a brief history here. Back in 2014, we undertook a study. We commissioned a human resource firm to take a look at our salaries for our non-union staff, because a lot of them were really significantly lower than surrounding communities, which makes it very difficult for us to attract good people and to keep good people, as we have recently found out with our assessor position. So it's really imperative that we pay people for the work that they do. And so this effort that we undertook is a way to address our inequities. And, you know, it's a difficult, changing salaries is always difficult. I mean, we're always happy to give increases for good work that our staff does. And as I said, you know, there can always be some tension in terms of, you know, this person got this or this person got that, but really that's why we undertook the study. And so we are adjusting the salaries to what were recommended in the study, and that is contained in the resolution. So with that, may I have a second?
Second.
And I don't know if any of the town board would like to offer any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to just make a couple comments. You know, first of all, you know, I thank you and TC for going through this and all of our input. It is extremely difficult. I think most of us on this town board, or probably all of us on this town board, would love to pay all our employees really to the maximum that the study shows, because, you know, we do have some really good, talented people here. But we also live in a realistic world where we have tax caps. You know, we have to, you know, also run this town where, you know, you're buying vehicles, you have to get seasonal help, you have equipment, you have services that we have to provide to our residents at the same time. And we really tried to give to our employees. I mean, I know I've been sitting on this board for 7 years, and not one of us have ever asked for a pay increase either, because we really much rather give it to our employees that really serve our community. So as you state, I know there's going to be some people that are not happy, but there's going to be others that, you know, their salaries have been, you know, behind, and we're just really trying to get caught up. There's been boards in the past that haven't addressed this at all, and I'm happy to sit here to know that over the years sitting here, we have really given to the employees of the town, and especially the years where the insurances went up 18, 21%, and we still covered that, and we didn't go after, you know, their paycheck to offset some of that either. So times are difficult, but yet I'm happy to sit here to know that at the end of the day, most of the employees, actually all the employees have gotten increases with us sitting on this board.
So I appreciate those comments, Ken. And, you know, some of the positions, it's really the complicated level of the work that they do and the uniqueness of it and their contribution to the town. Not that every employee isn't important, but there were a couple positions that were significantly underpaid considering the contribution and how much the town needs them to run, and that they are not really easily replaced. And so, as I said, you know, using the study really, which interviewed all the employees to find out exactly the work they do. That's one of the, they had them complete surveys, they had the discussions on the level of work. They also considered people's education, what type of degrees they had, and how much additional studies they have done to obtain the position that they have. They looked at length of service, really just the complication of the level of work. So all those factors went into determining the salary for the position, and it really isn't the salary for the person, because as I mentioned, you know, we recently lost our assessor, and it's been a very difficult process for us to understand what other communities are paying. So this effort really is going to make it easier in the future for the town boards to pay for the adjustments going forward that are actually reflective of probably more cost of living increases, and that's, you know, that was really our goal. So
Right, and one other thing, I mean, the next challenge that this town is going to face is that, you know, we do have an aging workforce.
Yep.
And we really have to, you know, start bringing these salaries up, because like the assessor, you're gonna start seeing people retire shortly. And you're gonna see a big bump here, so I congratulate you for tackling this.
well, thanks, Ken.
I just wanted to say, oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
all right. There you go. Lady first.
I just wanted to say that I appreciate the systematic approach to it. I think it's hard when you look at, you know, of course, every person makes a contribution, and it's hard to look at it person by person. So I think doing it systematically and using data and making decision that way is the way to go. And like Ken said, it's resulting in, you know, raises to where people, where the study showed they should be. So.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, I agree. I want to thank Aileen and TC for guiding us through this, and using that study that we purchased a few years ago, puts it on a professional level. This is one of the hardest things you do in management, is salaries every year. You have to evaluate everybody. This puts it on a professional basis on how we do it. It keeps us competitive with other towns, and it takes, hopefully, the politics out of it completely. And town boards in the future, I hope, will follow this. I think it's fair to everybody.
Well, that is just speak to a good point, because we have really two resolutions, as you'll see. And the first that we're discussing right now is to adopt this program. Okay, so that's really the way that TC and I devised this, so that this is an adopted policy, kind of like our policy to have an audit committee or various other financial policies. And so once you adopt it, it is something that the future town boards should utilize. And so that's a way of memorializing it. And so that is why we have it in two resolutions. So Pat, could you please do a roll call?
Councilwoman Svensson.
Aye.
Councilman Ray.
Aye.
Councilman Marine.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Supervisor Roy.
Aye.
Resolution 618-8 of 2018, resolution establishing salaries for the town's non-union positions for 2018.
And a second?
Second.
And so please do a roll call of this as well.
Councilwoman Svensson.
Aye.
Councilman Ray.
Aye.
Councilman Marine.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Supervisor Roy.
Aye. Okay.
Resolution 618-9 of 2018, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to execute the renewal of the Hyde Park Central School District lease agreement for 2018 through 19 for the Hyde Park Recreation Senior Center at Hyde Park Elementary School.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 61810 of 2018, resolution authorizing the town board of the Town of Hyde Park to establish an open development area pursuant to Section 280-A4 of the New York State Town Law for Sub-Phase 1A of the Belfield Development Project.
Okay, and Warren, would you just like to speak to that?
Yes, this is a resolution that we need to adopt in accordance with the Bellafield Development Project, which is ongoing. And it's basically permitting the access to a town road via an internal private road system that was planned as part of the sub-phase 1A of the project. It's required by Section 280A of the town law that you establish an open development area to allow this to happen. It doesn't require a public hearing, and the seeker review has been done as part of the approval of the project, but it does require an application to the town board. The town board did receive the application and referred it to the planning board. Planning board endorsed it, made a recommendation that we adopt this, so we are adopting it if the board votes on it tonight. And if there is any future development of the entire project beyond Phase 1A, they will require an additional similar approval.
Okay, so may I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Exciting to see the project moving forward.
Yeah, very
We have
much.
Jennifer
And-
Van Talia
and the
here,
attorney
in
is
case
here.
anybody had an objection
Yep,
to it.
but thank you for coming, Jennifer.
Our pleasure.
And we have-
Look forward from Shays this year, too.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you both for coming.
Thank
We have a
you.
lot of honored guests tonight.
Yeah.
We appreciate your support very much.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing that move ahead. And I know
Do
you
we
guys
have
are
any,
getting very close.
We have any idea when a shovel might be in the ground on that?
You got an extension, right, last meeting?
I think that what you're about to receive, you're starting the sewer component, is that right? The sewage treatment plant? Is that,
We're-
very?
Should I speak?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be great,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be nice, Jennifer.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hi, Jennifer Van Tile from Cuddy and Fader. In answer to your question, we did receive an extension of our site plan approval. Some of our outside agency approvals are complicated, and also complicated by the fact that DEC issues all permits together. So until you have absolutely all of them, including sign-offs from the Army Corps, you don't get them. But we're very, very close, and we're proceeding. So we did receive that extension. We're before the planning board on Wednesday evening, and we're hoping that the town planning board would be in a position now, thanks to the board's approval of the open development area, to proceed with a conditional subdivision approval, which is necessary to create the lot. So we've had nothing but cooperation from the town zoning administrator, the building inspector, the planning board. The town engineer, everyone has been willing to meet with us and support this project. And in today's day and age, that's what it takes, is everyone rowing in the same direction, and we really appreciate the support of the town board. So we hope to begin construction in the summer, and hopefully the hotel will start going vertical by the end of the year.
Oh,
Very
fantastic.
nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Thank you for the update.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Jennifer, for
much.
the
Thank you so much.
update.
Thank you.
And I know we have our highway super here, and he had a few concerns early on just about the use of West Dorsey, but that's been resolved. Is that right, Howie, to your satisfaction? Yep. Good. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks for that.
Okay, did we vote on that?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
We did it.
All right.
Resolution 618-11 of 2018. Resolution authorizing commencement of administrative remedies pursuant to Town Code 84-6 with regard to certain properties in the town of Hyde Park.
Rich, do you want to speak to that just for a few minutes? And appreciate you coming out late at night like this I know you get an early start every day, but thank you. So, yeah, would you kind of go over this with us?
This is the new law, or?
Well, this is the commencement of the administrative remedies for a number of properties. This is the
29,
29
35.
Roosevelt,
Oh, okay, yeah.
35 Roosevelt.
These properties are, most of them are vacant, well, they're all vacant. Most of them are foreclosures. The one house that's not a foreclosure, the person, as far as I know, lives in Texas, and I chased them all last summer, and we're not gonna do it this year. Just, you know,
Yeah.
because it's, you know, it'll probably get to the point where, just what happened on North Quaker.
Yeah.
It'll get to the point where the town's about to go in and cut the grass, and she'll have somebody come and cut it, but it's just an ongoing problem. And the bank's not taking care of the other houses.
Okay, so just, what's our next step after this?
Be the public hearing on the 16th of July,
Yeah,
Yes.
and then after that, then the town can
can go in
send
and,
it to the town workers in or hire somebody to cut the grass.
okay, sounds like a plan.
I'm ready to vote yes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So did I get a second?
No.
Okay, may I have a
Second.
second, please? And all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Rich. Bye, Mary Beth.
Rich, just one thing. These, if they're in foreclosure, these should be covered by the zombie property law, new law is.
They should be, but trying to get somebody from the state to
It's
actually
been not- been bad.
help you with the, you know,
Wow.
and if we were to, you know, go through this process and, you know, the town cut the grass, which you're gonna have to do. Even if you get the state to step in and cut the grass, or, you know, the town will have to foot the bill to cut the grass. The remedy, when the homeowner or the bank reimburses, because we asked the state for help, the money will go to the state. So by keeping it in-house, the money that we recoup will actually come back to the town.
All right, well, we're moving ahead on this then.
Yeah, no
And
doubt.
we're actually passing
Better to stay.
a law to make it more expeditious, so
Yeah.
that's so
That's
much
fine.
for the state helping you out.
They are
Yeah,
overwhelmed.
best laid plans.
Okay.
And, you know, we have, I don't know if you still have your sign on for the zombie law, but if you go on the website and you pull up the town of Hyde Park, there is not a property on the list.
And I have reported myself personally.
Oh, I report properties every week.
Right, nothing happens. It's
And,
like-
but there's
they're
still, to this
overwhelmed.
day, there's not a property
major
on our list for the town of
Yeah.
Hyde Park.
We should invite Senator Serino in and have this discussion with her, because it's an issue.
Yeah, it is.
It's a quality of life issue, and if there's
All
an
of the
issue with
state.
the
Yeah.
state, we should really try to get that remedied, because that's ridiculous.
Well, along these lines, you know, a lot of this is education as well.
Right.
For example, this week I sent a letter to all the property owners that are on 9, on the areas where we've constructed the sidewalks and
Yes.
who will be part of the sewer district, and just really, you know, try to hit home to them that it's their responsibility as commercial property owners to keep the properties maintained, and that it's, you know, of benefit to everyone, including, you would think, even to their own businesses. So, you know, that's just part of the education process, is to, you know, sometimes people may not be quite look at it that way. And it's really, it's about giving respect to your neighbors and to other people. And so, so we sent that this week to 9, and
Good.
plan to do some, slightly different letter to 9G. But it's really, it's just one of, as we've gone over, a very persistent and pernicious problem. So, but, you know, in all of these situations, it's only a one-time, you just got to go in once and do it. Right, because that's the other, so we only
Well,
start again.
Yeah, they-
Until the
yeah,
grass
yeah.
grows again.
Yeah.
I mean, I am so
Yeah.
tired of the gas station right by
Yeah,
Sweets.
I
I
call
mean,
them too.
it's just ridiculous. And it's actually someone who owns a fair amount of property on 9. And it's like, it's so rude. It's just like you can't, it's like so overgrown with invasives that if you
Yeah.
try to walk by it, and we're going in there, and some of those trees have to come down, and they're gonna be paying a much higher
Well,
cost than
maybe
they would if they did it
that's-
themselves.
That's when they learn, when you hit their pocketbook,
Yes.
that's when they learn.
Yep, so,
I've
anyway,
had several conversations with the owner.
of the gas
Of the
station?
gas station, when the sofa was behind there. And he told me for weeks he was going to have it taken out of there, and finally it's gone. But, and they're also looking to tear down that canopy.
Well,
So,
great.
but that's been a month since they said they came in to
To
get
do
the
it?
permit, so, and they had never come back. so.
No, well, they really have a lot more to do that is, infringing on the sidewalk.
Right.
And like I said, he owns multiple properties on 9, and it's,
Well, he's
it's
on
just-
our list, so.
Good,
Good.
good. Well, Rich, really, you're doing
Thank
such
you.
good work for us. Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
so did we all vote on that?
We did.
Yeah, okay, thanks, great.
Resolution 6/18-12 of 2018, resolution accepting the bid of Peckham Road Corporation for the 2018 highway blacktop work and authorizing the town supervisor to execute the blacktop contract for 2018.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 61813 of 2018, resolution adopting local law 3 of the year 2018 entitled, "A Local Law Amending Chapter 108 of the Town Code with regard to maximum impervious coverage for solar farms in the Greenbelt zoning district."
I second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, okay, so, I'm sorry, you had that on there. So, a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Svensson?
Aye.
Councilman Ray?
Aye.
Councilman Maureen?
Aye.
Councilman Schneider?
Aye.
Supervisor Rohr?
Aye.
Resolution 618-14 of 2018, resolution commencing the local law adoption process for local law number E of 2018 entitled The Town of Hyde Park Grass Maintenance Law.
And
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Do you just want me to quickly explain? No, we're good on this?
I think I've kind of been talking about it.
Have we talked, okay, I mean, just so, I don't
Leave you alone.
know if we.
No, go ahead. Let's hit it home one more time.
We already have a provision, Chapter 84 in our law, which allows us actually to do this, to take action to cut the grass, because it's a violation of the New York State Property Maintenance Code, which prescribes an 11-inch limit. But the process for that is rather laborious, so this short circuits the process while still giving due process to the property owners. So that's the purpose of this law.
And it's
Great.
only for grass, right?
It's
So
only for
more
grass.
significant things would
Correct.
still go through the longer
Right,
process. yeah.
not for flowers.
No, I meant like bigger property. Well, I'm sorry, but I wanted to make sure people could
No,
grow
I'm just
crops.
kidding. I mean, your point was well taken.
Trash and rubbish.
Okay, so may I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
So when did we set the public hearing is,
July 18th at
but
7:05.
wait, we've been saying July 16th.
This one says July 18th.
I know, but we don't have,
The other one said July 16th.
yeah, I
What-
think
what
that's
is
a
the date?
typo.
What is
It
the
should
date?
be, so we're going to have to revise that. It's July 16th.
Okay, so why don't we just have an amendment to revise the resolution to provide for the local, for the public hearing on July 16th?
I make the motion to
To revise it, and a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Just make sure the notice is.
Change
is
to,
correct.
yeah, it should be July 16th.
Resolution 618-15 of 2018, resolution accepting amended proposed local law number C of the year 2018 entitled, "A Local Law to Amend Chapter 108 of the Town Code with regard to the regulation of signs."
second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And that is July 16th.
Okay.
And then we had one to be added at the dais, which we actually don't have to do, right? So
Okay.
that's the 563 North Quaker,
Quaker.
right?
But we still have some more.
We still have plenty to go.
Yeah, we have more.
Wait.
16.
Oh,
So we have.
We have 16 through
16.
18.
Yeah.
16, 17, 18, still got quite a few.
oh, all right.
Resolution 618-16 of 2018, my God. Resolution authorizing police officer Martin Monaco to attend
Oh, my God.
Educated Canines Assisting with Disabilities Training at the Children's Home in Poughkeepsie, June 25th, 2018 through June 29th, 2018.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 618-17 of 2018, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Police Chief to extend a preliminary and conditional offer of employment to conditional employee 1-2018 in order to complete candidates' pre-employment requirements and subsequent appointment pending successful completion of all employment requirements.
I second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 618-18, 2018. Resolution authorizing the town supervisor to accept Morris Associates' proposal for construction administration services for the Hyde Park Highway Salt Shed and Highway Garage Repair Project.
And may I have a second,
Second.
please?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
It's great to see that happening.
Finally.
The salt shed. And,
Yeah,
it's exciting.
it's all going well, right, Howie? I need to come over and take a look. Great. Okay, so if, as long as no one has any other comments, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Pat, I'll be happy to do.
We didn't vote on a new truck you want.